So I'm a huge fan of tobacco fragrances, and I've got a great one for you today. It's called Precious Moment from the Gate Paris. This right here, we're going to review this, plus you'll have a chance at winning one of 3 bottles if you are in the world. So please stay tuned. That's right, I do have a great tobacco fragrance to review. It's called Precious Moment from the Gate Paris Fragrances. This is part of the Love Collection. Retails for $180 USD. It's 2016 release, last year. It's eau de parfum. There's no nose information with this one. For the notes, we've got at the top cardamom and dried fruits. In the heart, we've got night blooming tuberose, saffron blossom, tobacco blossom, and in the base we've got patchouli leaf. What a wonderful release this is. I really fell in love with this fragrance at Esxence in Milan. What happened was Fadi, the owner of the Gate Paris fragrance house, spotted me and he invited me over, and I was so busy there running around, shooting a lot of different videos with the different brands. I hadn't even heard of the Gate Paris fragrance before, but I'm assuming a few folks had done reviews in the past. But Fadi showed me the collection, really loved a lot of them, but really fell in love with Precious Moment. There's also the Oud collection that he showed. There were a few in that collection as well. But as part of the Love collection, this one was the standout. And since it is tobacco, I really fell for it. But this is not your typical tobacco, I have to explain. It's not like the dirty, ashy, burned tobacco that's very popular in like a fragrance like Tobacco Vanille, which is balanced out with the vanilla note in that. I absolutely love that fragrance, but this is nowhere near that. It's not that kind of tobacco. This to me smells like tobacco leaves. Dry tobacco leaves and dry tobacco blossom flowers, basically. As a kid, my dad knew a guy who was in the tobacco business, and I remember visiting a place in Lebanon, where I'm from, where he had his little small plant. It was not a big plant, but it was like a very special type of cigarette. And I remember the tobacco leaves there. And when you walk into that little space, you can pick up the smell of the leaves. So basically, it is what this is. It smells a little dirty, of course, because it's leaves. It's from the earth. It's a bit earthy, but a lot of things are in the Gate Precious Moment that actually balance out the earthy, slight bit dirtiness of the tobacco leaves. Especially at the top, the dried fruit notes come in, and you know me with dried fruits, I love it, and it's really perfectly balanced out with that cardamom note. So it is a bit spicy and a bit fruity, but not overwhelmingly fruit. It's like the fruitiness just smooths over a little bit. So that's what I like about it. In the heart, the tobacco just kicks in, just takes over. So it does say tobacco blossom, but to me, this is more like the leaves, the smell of the leaves, as I was saying. So I'm assuming we've got both in there, both the blossom and the tobacco leaves, but definitely not a burned tobacco here. This is nothing like you're smelling ashes or dirty burned tobacco. It's just all very fresh, somewhat aromatic, which is how I basically experience this fragrance. So there's a little bit of tuberose in there. It is not very big. It's not a major player. You'll pick up some hints, very light, minimal hints. Some also leathery herbal saffron note comes in as well. And as this fragrance is drying down, it's all about the patchouli leaf with the tobacco. I mean, that's all it is basically. And recently I wore this, among many occasions I've worn this. I've got really great compliments with this one. I actually pretty much oversprayed it, but it was evening and I was going out in the evening, and the looks and the turns I picked up with this one was just quite outstanding. And a few of the people that were looking at me did ask me what I was wearing as a fragrance, and I said it's the Gate fragrance Precious Moment. And of course nobody knew what it was. It was not a fragrance event or anything. It was nothing to do with fragrance, so that's kind of why they wouldn't know about it, of course. But also I think this brand is not very well known in the fragrance community, so I hope that you'll take note of this brand and explore some of their fragrances, because this Precious Moment is quite lovely. I really do love it. Another thing I want to mention is that Precious Moment kind of reminds me of a very popular designer release, one that was launched in, I think it was the mid to late 90s, Versace Dreamer. Something about that fragrance and this kind of has similarities to me. And I know that Versace Dreamer is a tobacco dominant fragrance, but I think it's more of the fresh, aromatic, leafy, floral tobacco compared to the dirty, burned, ashy, smoky tobacco that's in Tobacco Vanille, if that makes sense. So there's something about them similar to me that come off, not identical, but hints of one another. So if you like Versace Dreamer, you'll probably like this, although this is a lot more unique and less designer compared to the Versace Dreamer, which is of course a designer. And so it's also not the same as it used to be back in the late 90s when it was a really beastly performing fragrance. It's still great. I don't get me wrong, I love it. It's one of my favorite designers still, but it's not what it used to be. But if you're looking for something a little more potent, a little more unique, a little more niche, and you like Versace Dreamer, I highly recommend you try Precious Moment. I mean, they're not identical. You'll just probably get some similar hints of it, but really, really great fragrance from a company that I don't really know much about until when I was in Milan and I got to smell every single fragrance in the collection. So anyway, also performance with this Precious Moment is really, really good. The cool thing about this is it's one of those fragrances that is not too loud, but it does have the longevity of, you know, staying on you. The projection is also not too loud. You'll get about an hour to 2 hours of projection and sillage with this one. After that, it's pretty much a closer to the skin scent. People will smell you, but they need to get closer to you. So I think it also makes it somewhat of a perfect fragrance to wear, I mean, to an office setting. Although I wouldn't overspray this one to the office, but still, if you're wearing 1 or 2 sprays, I think it's perfect because by the time you get to work, the fragrance would be closer to your skin anyway, and it makes it perfect masculine fragrance. I mean, this is unisex. I think I find it a little more masculine than normal. Anyway, that's my review for Precious Moment by the Gate Paris. What do you think? Have you tried this brand? Are you familiar with this house? Have you owned any fragrances, or have you wanted to try any of their fragrances? I think it's time for us to check this one out. There are many fragrances in their collection, but as far as my favorite one goes, this was the one I really liked. Really kept coming back to it upon sampling it in Milan. And if you like tobacco and you're a fan of Versace Dreamer, I would go with this one. If you want to participate in the giveaway, the Gate Paris fragrances are doing a giveaway for 3 bottles. Here's what basically the giveaway is. There's a 150 ml bottle to win, 120 ml bottle to win, and a 10 ml bottle to win. The rules are you have to be a subscriber here, like this video, please put a comment down as to what you like about tobacco fragrances, what is your favorite tobacco fragrance, and why you want to win this fragrance. And we'll do a randomizer and select the first 3. The first person is of course the 50 ml bottle winner, the second is the 20 ml bottle winner, the third is a 10 ml bottle winner. Also please put down your country, even though this is a worldwide giveaway. I'd like to know where you're commenting from, and we'll run the randomizer and select the first 3 winners. Alright guys, thanks so much for watching. Please like this video, please share it, follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and I'll be back with more videos very soon. Have a good one. Goodbye.